What Omoda is doing with the 5 Hybrid is something most people in the industry probably expected to take another 5 years. A Chinese brand still relatively unknown has put together a Honda-style hybrid system, wrapped it in a car that costs €26,490, roughly $28,900, and backed it with a 7-year warranty. That alone changes what budget means in this segment. The car at the Innsbruck Motor Show is the premium line in metallic gray, listed at €29,990. For that, you get heated and ventilated front seats, a Sony sound system, ambient lighting, and a 360-degree camera. Matching this equipment on a Nissan Qashqai would cost well over $35,000. From the outside, the 5 looks more expensive than it is. The coupe roofline drops toward the rear, and the hybrid's front grille is more restrained than the petrol version, with smaller openings that give it a quieter face. At 14 feet 5 inches long, it sits alongside a Qashqai or T-Roc. The full-width LED lighting and the overall stance read as something from a brand that has been doing this for decades. Inside is where this year's update matters most. Omoda replaced the original dashboard with the layout from the electric E5, and the improvement is immediate. Two 12.3-inch screens sit in a single surround angled toward the driver, and the center console floats above a clean lower cabin. The soft touch materials across the upper dashboard extend further than this price has any right to deliver. It is not trying to hide where it comes from. It is trying to make where it comes from irrelevant. The front seats are supportive, with heating and ventilation standard on this trim. The driving position sits a touch higher than ideal, with a slightly oversized steering wheel, giving the impression of being perched rather than settled. It is a design choice, and whether it works depends on sitting in the car before committing. The rear cabin is where the coupe roofline collects its tax. Legroom behind a 6-foot driver is adequate, but headroom is genuinely tight. CarWow called it a severe lack of headroom, and the dimensions confirm it. This is a car for 4 people, or for 2 adults with children in the back. 3 adults across the rear bench is not something anyone would choose. The boot tells the real story of fitting a hybrid into this body. 370 liters, roughly 13 cubic feet, smaller than a Ford Puma, which sits a full class below. The floor is flat and the opening is square, but the depth is shallow and there is no underfloor storage because the battery takes that space. A stroller and 2 weekend bags will fit. Add a dog crate and you are negotiating. The hybrid system justifies the car's existence. The 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder pairs with an electric motor and a small lithium iron phosphate battery through a dedicated hybrid transmission that works like Honda's, where the engine generates electricity for the motor rather than driving the wheels directly. Combined output is 221 horsepower and 218 pound-feet. 62 miles per hour arrives in 7.9 seconds. The number that matters is 53 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and a claimed range of over 600 miles per tank. At cruising speed, the engine barely registers. This is less about whether the Omoda 5 is a great car, and more about what it means that a car this capable exists at this price. The Duster Hybrid returns 61 miles per gallon, but the cabin belongs to a different conversation. The Qashqai is roomier but costs thousands more and cannot match this equipment level. For €26,490, roughly $28,900, the Omoda 5 Hybrid asks you to accept a boot that belongs in a hatchback and a rear seat that favors children over adults. In return, it gives you the powertrain, the equipment, the 5-star safety rating, and the warranty. For a growing number of buyers, that trade is going to feel obvious. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.